share about the last thing that made you cry. And what this person said is how uncomfortable I felt in my own body and how distant I was becoming from my values, and I'm seeing myself turning into someone I don't want to be. Wow, very deep.
Share about the last thing that made you cry. I was very overwhelmed by the number of commitments I had, both in terms of extracurricular activities, which I'm solely to blame for overcommitting, and family commitments, coupled by the assignments I had due, especially the essays, because I'm bad at them and therefore get extra anxiety with writing assignments. Actually, recently I've also been going through a very hard time. I was putting a lot of blame on myself for being stressed and crying about it. Because even though you feel that you are to blame for a lot of the commitments that you took up or the stress that you're going through, it doesn't negate the fact that you are feeling those emotions or you are going through those problems.
Share something that you've been struggling with recently. So something I've been struggling with is trying to prioritize spending time with my family versus my studies. I recently found out that my grandparents have dementia and felt a nagging urgency to spend as much time with them as I can, while I still can. It's hard choosing between my grades and my family. I feel that something that can relate to this is probably because sometimes I just feel the same type of regret having to choose my family over my grades also. Thinking about the times where I always have to stay back in school much longer than I've always had to, just because I have some works that's not completed, a graded assignment, etc. Whenever I felt that studying was not very productive and I keep taking care of my family, I just go back home. Just sometimes it's a break for you. Sometimes you just need that time to spend time with your family, to just be there with them, and just spend some time with quality time with them lah. And maybe after that you come out being more productive. It's something that you want to do. You shouldn't feel forced that you want to do it. And most important is that you have time for yourself to relax, take a breather, doing things that you love to do and not just doing things just because you have to do it.
I'm scared of how different life is going to be once I leave CAPT. CAPT isn't perfect, but the people here have given me so much. It's going to be so hard for me to let go of this place. I feel like there's still so much that I need to do for the people here before I leave, but I find myself not having the time or the capacity to do as much as I want to, and that sucks. Oh, this person is so giving. You know how people come to uni and they always see what can I get out of uni for myself, what friends can I make, what achievements can I get. The person's main worry and stress before leaving is that they haven't done enough. Yeah, and I think that's really amazing, and I really admire the heart of this person. I think that whatever you do with this heart, people can tell, and it will be enough for the people around you. So I hope that it's something that you feel it's a not too difficult a struggle or heavy a burden to carry.
The last time I cried, it was when I made an oversight in one of the things I was responsible for and ended up making someone else work more difficult. I ended up having a lot of self-doubt, and this screw up occurs because I always question how capable I am of handling the responsibilities. Wow. I would say that this kind of experience, taking up commitment, roles and responsibility, there are many things that we all take in charge of, we all are responsible of, and as time passes by, there's a possibility that we tend to oversight on it. At the end of the day, I think I have to realize that it has already happened and we have to accept it. I would say that it's okay for now to really go with what you're feeling right now, maybe feeling dejected or feeling disappointed in yourself. It's important for us to pick ourselves up and learn from it and move on from it. Yeah.
Coming to terms that rest and nourishment are most important for me now, even I have to hustle even harder than before. I think this is the whole idea of self-care, right? That it is so elusive and it is so, honestly, it's such a revolutionary idea that you need to sometimes just chill and that you just need to stop moving for a bit. I think someone told me once a long time ago that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is sleep. Even I'm still learning is really to listen to my body, listen to your body. It is not a machine and that it deserves rest, even if you feel like you don't deserve it. Your body needs to rest and you should listen to it more. You deserve it lah.
Making friends is hard. I've always found it hard to trust people, and it takes a lot of time and energy to find others I can get close to. It's no different in CAPT, except we live together too. Captains are great people, but I find it most difficult to be myself here than anywhere else. I think firstly, thank you for sharing. I think it takes a lot of courage to talk about something like that, and it seems very, very personal to you. It must have been hard lah, and I'm very sure, and I think you also know that you're not the only one who feels this way. I think as long as you are true to who you are, I'm sure you'll find the friends that you will resonate with and you would be comfortable with. So, 加油!
Share something that you have been struggling with recently. Struggling with being transparent about my emotions with people around me because I don't want to seem weak even though I know it's perfectly normal. Also struggling with setting aside quality personal time. Personally, I also had some struggles with emotions, being transparent, whether people will be comfortable with just showing my raw emotions, and also how if people accept me for being who I am. I think it's only showing your true emotions to really people you trust with, people you're comfortable with. And for personal time, go and have fun with yourself. Yeah, I realized one thing is that watching movies alone is also something that's interesting.
I find myself feeling FOMO about how other people in my house are so comfortable with each other. I keep telling myself I would step out of my comfort zone, but I keep thinking I would be awkward in these social settings, and it becomes a vicious cycle where I continue to feel bad for missing out on house events. This is something that I believe many people will face. The way I got out of feeling awkward about coming out of my room and joining house events was by connecting with my next door neighbor. So that's what helped me. This is something that you should get through together with people that you trust and people that you are genuinely close to. So I don't think that you should be forcing yourself to do things that you are not comfortable with. Yeah, this is part of building a community that we can all be proud of. A community where we can all feel safe and feel a part of.
Share about how you fell out with a once close friend of yours. I guess there really wasn't a particular incident, but I get sentimental all the time. And I look back on pictures I posted on IG in the past, and I think about the many friends I lost touch with across the years. It really sucks now because it would be kind of weird to reach out to them out of the blue. Actually, I feel like I can relate to this quite well, as I'm quite a sentimental person myself, for those who know me. I remember when I was year one myself, I was one of those people that actually ran for househead back then. And but I think me back then in year one was very different from me now that I'm year 4. So I was very close to this one friend, especially then. During that period where I was running for househead, we were super close. And then I didn't get househead, long story short. And I think that affected me quite a lot. And I actually kind of let that affect my friendship with that friend also. I have to tell people who ask me that even though that was something that it actually really disappointed me a lot back then, but I like to think about how if my life had gone that way, most of my close friends now, I wouldn't be close friends with them because that's not the path that I would have been on.
Share about the last thing that made you cry. And what this person said is how uncomfortable I felt in my own body and how distant I was becoming from my values, and I'm seeing myself turning into someone I don't want to be. Being uncomfortable in one's own body is something that is very common, more common than we think it is. When I was in secondary school, because I came from a girls' school, so I think all the more it's a problem that was very prevalent in the people around me. And at that point in time, I really didn't know what to do to help them, because a lot of times they think that how they view themselves is very different from how people view them. And it's not so much their physical appearance, so you can tell them, oh no, you look very pretty, you still look very good. But then deep down, they have a lot of insecurities that they face and we don't know about unless we actually talk to them. I myself, maybe in JAC, J1, when there was a sort of a change in life phase, we start to lose focus of who we are or who we want to become. And then when we lose that sense of self, it becomes very daunting to to continue living day by day because you're like, who am I and what am I doing this for? I think trust yourself, trust your friends, and you are not alone in this entire situation. Find something in your life that makes you happy, and I think that's something that really matters, and that's something that will drive you each and every day. It can be something small, it doesn't have to be something big. And I'm sure you'll find yourself growing stronger and taking one step forward at the same time. And then soon you'll find yourself in a place where you want to be.